Thank you for joining Matters Arising this afternoon. Kingsley, how are you doing?
Always good. It's weekend. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday.
Philip, how is your Friday rolling?
Oh, wonderful.
You were not in the studio since.
Yeah, I had to do some
run around. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Went to see the Prince of England.
Right. We have some headlines to run through their details on today's program. A lot of them, but let's see how fast we can go. Most of them are at developing stage, and some are already into the deep portion of our politics. Let's start with a statement that is being credited to Asiwaju, that PDP is dead. You know, you can't blame people who are living a sinking ship. And you begin to ask, when we think that Asiwaju himself should be shying away from deep politics and be worried about the issues Nigerians are raising about their living standard, you see him rejoicing as somebody who has conquered a territory. Has Asiwaju conquered the territory that Nigerians were expecting him to conquer? Poverty, insecurity, unemployment. I mean, a whole lot of them. Like our infrastructure's not working. And you found out that he talked about electricity as a basis to re-elect him. And we found out that APC are already placing him forward for re-election. But Nigerians will also place him forward for re-election if he generates the power like he told us. We still have the video. I was expecting that he should be conquering this territory. I can continue to list the plagues that is on Nigeria as it is. Yes, granted, he didn't cause them. He didn't initiate them. He came in with a promise to solve them, that he knows the problems and the solution. But conquering the other political party or describing them as sinking ship and rejoicing that they are coming over, is that what Nigerians are expecting of our president? A father, for that matter.
All right, thank you for this opportunity. I'm really disappointed in my own thinking and calculation. I thought where we are today that we're not going to be there. But at the close end of politicking in 2023, when it was almost about the election, I started seeing a different president that we have right now. The way he talked, kind of in a very arrogant way. Sometimes I don't think people should talk to people they want to rule in an arrogant way. He started saying, I must win. You cannot say you must win. You say, we are going to win. Do you understand? But this was not the language. And he came in, he won. In his acceptance speech, he said, even though you didn't vote for me right now, but I'm here now. Well, arrogant way as well. You know, then we saw him come in from the first day. He said, fuel is gone. I thought...
Fuel or subsidy is gone.
Subsidy is gone, sorry. Subsidy is gone. I thought they had a plan on ground. As it progressed, there was no plan on ground. The only plan that he had on ground was that the people couldn't resist because the fuel was not even available. Because if you make it scarce and the price is high, you'll be looking for it or not seeing it at all. I think that's the only plan they had, to make it scarce. Fuel just began being provided not too long ago. Then we came into the governance, and I've not really seen anything too different from where he's coming from. What I thought was that he was going to govern and not to play politics with everything. And I said something yesterday. I said, for the first 8 years that we had democracy, 99 to 2007, he governed Lagos. And we are judged that he did very well in Lagos. That he's going to an extent, you know, and all that. We saw some kind of facelift, some structural
do you know of any bridge constructed by Asiwaju in Lagos? Can you mention one? So just let's concentrate on
I'm
in Lagos all those years.
Well, because at a point in time, I went to around VI when he was in government.
It was VI, interlock was changed, the road was changed to interlock. That is it. So I can tell you to mention another project. So
we thought maybe Lagos was
what I think he did then, that it was people kind of appreciated him. He stood his ground. He didn't defect to PDP. He stood the ground of opposition. He was politically correct. You know, he ensured that PDP did not overrun the entire West. And in addition to that, when Obasanjo held his allocation, he was able to look inside. We have enough of population in Lagos. We can introduce a taxation system where we can contribute, bring in money to fund our state if the federal decides to hold back our money. And that was adjudged excellent.
Well, there were no other states that did what he did.
Yes, that was adjudged excellent.
So we thought that we're going to have like a tax
system. But the middle income earning ability you find in Lagos, that is not a representation you have across Nigeria. So the spectrum or the statistical distribution of income across Nigeria is not exactly the same as Lagos.
That's what we are saying. Yeah. Now coming into a bigger space, yes, we had Nigeria. Lagos is not Nigeria. And he started administering because Lagos is a state that has one ethnic group. Predominantly. I mean, that's their land. Whoever came to Lagos came for a visit, you know, and all that, or came to cohabit. But that's what we saw. But when we came to Nigeria, we didn't see that. Then the politics started being played out from the beginning of their inauguration.
Yeah, this morning I said something that PDP is probably the most terrible opposition party in Nigeria. And when you flip that side of PDP, because the PDP, well, I said maybe somebody can give them some credit because they came into power as the winner. They never experienced any hardship. So when they lost in 2015, they didn't know how to manage themselves. They didn't know how to remain in opposition. And sure, they don't even know how to criticize opposition, the ruling party, because they thought they were still the people ruling. And the flip side of that coin is still APC. That has been in power for 10 years, but they talk like the opposition. APC, you see their words, talk like the opposition. Now, look at this case, you know, when opposition should be happy that people are joining them to fight the cause or things like that, you see a ruling party.
Very critical situation in Nigeria today. You know why I say so? Because the ruling party see themselves as opposition. Don't forget, when APC coming to power in 2015, throughout the first 4 years and 8 years, all they do was to blame PDP as the cause of the Nigerian problem. When you listen to those blame, you look as if PDP were still in the saddle. But like you said, when you flip the coin the other way, they are actually the people in the saddle. Now you come to 2025, the same story is still playing on. You know, Asiwaju, who is a known activist, a critic of all government, right from military to Obasanjo to Jonathan, is the man in the saddle. He's the one who will say that, in fact, face your governance, leave politics. But he's the one playing politics. You know, look at it critically. This is the midterm. Like in America, midterm is when they assess the party in office because there's a midterm election.
Yeah, for some selected
legislators. If the government, the party in power does not perform well, they will vote out all their candidates.
They always use it to direct the...
You understand? But this is midterm. What we are hearing that they are celebrating the death of PDP. That's what the president is celebrating.
That was actually not in power.
That's not in power.
In the last
is it that PDP is still in power that the president is now celebrating their death? But one thing I give it to PDP, this is not the first time APCs taunted PDP. Remember when they first got into office in 2015, what the first thing they do is to infiltrate PDP with Amadou Sherif and late Dr. Cairo. And then they took over, PDP as if these guys were PDP. And it looked as if PDP is gone. but PDP survived it. And again, the same thing is playing out. In 2025, here we have the Minister of FCT, who is a PDP member, and also we don't know where he belongs. It's like a wolf in a sheep's skin. And here, the president whom he's working for is celebrating the death of PDP. Don't forget that a few days ago, the Southeast Caucus accused APC of being the problem of the PDP. You understand? So what is playing out is a sad thing. Nigeria is witnessing a very pathetic situation where the party in office don't even know their role anymore. Because the role of party in office is governance.
Yes.
It's not politics. But what they are doing.
And when you are governing and the people are measuring the kind of your performances, then the opposition will now be regrouping on how to remove you or how to, for those that think, okay, let's re-strategize. Okay, they have achieved this. Look at what we promised.
What they have not achieved.
Yeah, look at what have they achieved. But instead, we see the ruling party being neck deep in politics. Alhaji Ganduje, the APC national chairman, adopted Asiwaju clearly as for 2027. I mean, what INEC do have rules for campaign, and they went to actually start campaign. Do you think they are breaching that rules? I know we don't have that rules in our fund like this to kind of read. I mean, coming from, not necessarily legally unless, but coming from considering that Nigerians will feel slighted, that they have surmounting problems. You are talking of re-election and presenting the who is it that it should even be able to challenge us watching in a 2027 from APC? There was never anybody that's going to be able to do that. So coming to adopt
from within the
party, of course, and it's not even natural. Even all over the world, they usually present their own incumbent to run for re-election. So. But coming to throw it in the face of people, saying he's the one, we're adopting him for 2027 re-election and all that, when people so many Nigerians are still going home hungry, we still have our roads being taunted by kidnappers and all that, our farms, yes, many places people they've run away from their villages. Borno is still part of Nigeria. Zulum the other day was saying that the Mate was almost being taken over. This is happening. Go to Zamfara, killing, Plateau, Benue. Why are you putting re-election in front of all this? Does it mean that Ganduje and his cohort do not know what Nigerians are going through?
Obviously, they don't know what Nigerians are going through, or they choose to ignore what Nigerians are going through. They are just concerned about the elite, their elitist group. If Ganduje, not only Ganduje that adopted,
he's the national.
Yes, I know. But the governors came out, the assembly speaker came out, Senate president came out. They brought all their allies out, and they all adopted. Beyond Ganduje, the Senate president said, Nigerians have never had this. It's good like this. I mean, somebody wasn't telling me. I heard myself. Yeah. He said, we've never had it this good. Now, never had it this good. Is it politically or economically or, I don't know, or security-wise? Nigeria has never had it this bad. That's the real word. We've never had it this bad. I said something. I said, it will come to a day where a woman will come and say, we ate my child yesterday. Today is your child. Is that when the president is going to wake up? Or the president tries to look at that he doesn't see things that are happening? Even if he doesn't leave Asorok, even within the Asorok, there are a lot of things that are happening that to show that is not well with Nigeria. They need to stand up.
Philip,
and
there is this adage that says you watch a dance from where you are standing. Our president, is he supposed to stand in Aso Rock or stand across Nigeria so that he can watch the dance properly? This psychopathy around him, they might not be helping him.
I was reading what Lamido said to Jonathan. There's one that resonates with me and this question. He said to Jonathan, stop seeing yourself as an Ijoma, but see yourself as president of Nigeria.
Yes.
You know, Tinubu to stop seeing himself as the president of the elite, president of the APC. You know, it's very sad that Tinubu achievement is on politics. In fact, they had never had it good this politically by destroying other political parties for them to, you know, boost their political, structures. I think that's what they've achieved. I think that's what Akpabio meant by saying that we never had this good.
No more resistance.
Other than that, exactly, no more resistance. So this is just work in and work out. Other than that, they have done nothing, and it's dangerous for them. It's very dangerous. So you see, the president should step out of his, comfort zone, like you rightly said, and put himself in the ordinary man's shoe. He was the one who organized, orchestrated, and ensured occupying Nigeria. Because he felt the masses were suffering.
And as at that time, we were not having kidnappers. Kidnap anyone along our roads.
So I felt as at that time,
our farms, people were going to farms then.
So he was feeling the masses. What happened now?
Petrol was around 85 naira
because
then.
If you felt that you could do better, you are not given the opportunity. At least get worse, even than what you were protesting against. Then there's a question mark in you. So I think sincerely that the man should step out of his comfort zone.
And oftentimes you begin to wonder when they churn out certain figures. Why, I had thought that issues of security, I don't try to go there knowing that security operatives, they work with classification in order to help them, carry out their operations without openly or publicly leaking their methods or sources, to the enemies. So I give them that, benevolence to be able to manage their data. But you see, our NSA released some data the other day that they have kind of killed 13,543 terrorists across Nigeria, and about I think 124,408 Boko Haram fighters have submitted themselves, and they are going through reintegration and realignment with the society, and the radicalization process and all that. When they released this data, we didn't ask them. He did it on his own. We would like it to be relative. Do you question if they should have told us what was the position as they came in? For example, how many estimated Boko Haram fighters do they have? Then after killing these 13,000 thereabouts, how many are they now? Do we have more people being recruited? Or do we have it overall? Do you understand? We need to know what we call the boundary value conditions. The condition as at the time, you might have killed, if you kill 13,000 and 50,000 joined, you have not made progress. So do you think NSA should have, since he decided to do this on his volition, should have given us the absolute figure? How many people do you think joined? How many people were we fighting then? How many are we fighting now?
If there are some things, sometimes they talk to us as if we didn't go to school. Truly. Because some of us went to school that they didn't go to.
That's right.
That's the real truth.
That's true. Yes.
Now, number one, you killed 13,000 and integrated 126,000 back.
400.
What's the size of Nigerian army? Nigerian army, that's the military, that's the army, the navy, and the soldiers. What's the size? What's the size of the Nigerian police? Then what's the size of paramilitary organizations that operate all around the whole country? They are not all concentrated in Adamawa and Borno alone. So what's the size? So what's the size you have killed? So what's the size that you estimate of the Boko Haram
that are left?
The general size.
Yes, the overall size. Before you kill this one. Before you kill this one.
What's the size? Then if they are around Borno, right, and Adamawa alone, right, or maybe some other ones in some other peripheral state in the northeast. How many of them are still remaining? How come they have suddenly just sprang up and running over a lot of places with renewed arm. Now, the chief of army staff told us the last time that they have sources, alleged sources of what's it called, fundings coming from them. Now, one of the things you do to, first of all, sniff the life out of these terrorists is to make the funding sources. How come how intelligent we are and we've not been able to stop their funding sources and where arms are
coming in, and most of those arms are not manufactured in Nigeria.
No,
we don't manufacture AK-47. We don't. So I'm beginning to ask Philip. He cited progresses, here and there, and apart from this one, for example, he talked about Northeast, that which might be true, that they sit at home because they keep they keep sit at home declaration or observation is really not
in the decline.
Yeah, it's not really effective anymore. That people are not really complying with that anymore, and he described them as the terrorists behind those things. A lot of them are being decimated. That about 50 police stations that were distorted before or touched before already rebuilt and things like that. Do you think we don't want to go into classification of Southeast, whatever, IPOB as terrorists or not? I think they still have all that with them, But this NS is speaking, so we have to speak his language. Do you think they have been able to make progress? Because I do know that even the governor of Anambra State at a time was against that sit at home, saying this is nonsensical. It has no value to us. Do you think they have really made progress like NSA have said?
You see, when you sit in that are practical, you don't need to speak too much grammar on them. If you said people no longer observe the sit at home in the Southeast, try on Monday.
On Monday, go and make sure that
if you see all the shops, all the business,
you go and hold the event on Monday. On Monday.
So they will say that the NSA know what he's speaking about. For me, talk is cheap. But in this case, you are talking about something that is real to us, something we can experience. The other day I was in Asaba, you see that the whole Southeast has moved to Asaba.
But Asaba is in South, so they don't observe.
You are saying that I'm going somewhere now. You said they no longer observe it.
Yeah.
Because of the sit at home in the Southeast, Asaba is the nearest city from the South side to the Southeast.
Yeah.
The Southeast has practically moved into Asaba.
Yes.
Asaba is more expensive than Abuja today because of the influence of the Southeast.
Yes,
so where is the achievement? I mean, people have only find a way of managing the sit at home on their own. It's not because of the achievement. I'm bold to say that it's not because of the achievement of the present administration that has changed the scenario. Rather, people in the Southeast have found out that, look, this thing is not helping us.
Yes.
But since we cannot help it, let's find a way out. And they are seen Asaba as an alternative. You go and check the facts, the facts and figures, and if you go to Asaba, you will see that activity in Asaba is competing effectively with Lagos and Abuja today in terms of properties, in the estate business. What led to the explosion? So when you sit back at your comfort, is even the problem? Okay, if you said you have done so much, why is Zamfara still what it is? We are talking about Southeast has never been an issue. IPOB, you see, when you talk about terrorists and bandits.
No, that's why I didn't want us to go into the classification.
The terrorists we are talking about, this, you said you are radicalizing these people. These people, the people who have ideology, you can't change them overnight. They have a belief that they are running with. Southeast is just people who are agitating for their succession. Those are not the issue. The issue is these people who have ideology of what they want, and the
entire
Nigeria, and they are going for it. They are implementing it. What have you done? Instead of you to find a way of nipping it on the board, you said you are integrated into society.
Okay. Let's put it this way: if they are beginning to, I won't say abandon, because they are celebrating success, in their own way. We psychopaths are all over saying there is stability, blah blah blah, and all that. So I don't know what they call stability, whether the increment of prices of things have crested or whatever, or there's a kind of intervention, maybe some people importing foreign rice and all that and dumping, it doesn't activate productivity. Do you think this government paid sufficient attention to productivity? I mean, let's put it this way. Peter Obi campaigned so much with converting Nigeria from consumption to production, from a consuming nation to a producing nation. Peter Obi also talked about removal of subsidy. He didn't give us the details how he going to go about it.
He also talked about the floating of the naira.
Peter Obi didn't talk about floating of the naira. He didn't talk about it as to remove it just like that. He didn't give us the method. But let me put it clearly. Asiwaju removed subsidy, and most of his followers talked about, Obi said the same thing. Even though Obi had won, he would have done the same thing. Okay, let's forgive him now. The subsidy is removed, and where we are today. Obi also talked about converting Nigeria from consumption to producing economy. Why is it that it's only removal of subsidy that Obi also the campaign with that he did? Because we are not seeing the conversion of Nigeria from consuming economy to producing economy. Are you seeing that?
No, because they didn't campaign with that.
That's what they did.
No, both of them campaigned with. What he campaigned with is that I will give you electricity. If I give you electricity, don't vote me back. And we have put him to his word.
But has he given us electricity?
No, he has not. He has not. He has not. I mean, all of us can see it. For the first time, we have what you call ban A, ban B. We've never heard those kind of things before. Ban A, ban B. Now, most of the time, they need to always face the problem that the people face. Don't do as if you don't see the problems.
Do you think they see the problems?
Yes, they do. They are just telling a lot of they are taking Nigerians for granted. And one of the major things about life, don't take a people for granted.
All right, let me put it this way. I might cue behind you that they see the problem. Do you know why I might agree with you? About 2 weeks ago or thereabout, it featured that the presidency have, I don't know, they say 10 billion naira or whatever in the budget to convert the power source of the Aso Rock to solar.
They have started it already.
That they realize that the cost of using this conventional electricity is
more expensive.
High. So if it is so high for
and the government cannot pay,
and the government do not think they should waste that money, there are a lot of people, one of the ordinary person, who do not have the ability to install.
Aside that, how will the industry that you were supposed to give the light to so that they can be productive, be able to pay the head cost and still make profit?
So yeah, I believe it's true that. So if I believe in what you said, that they actually know what people go through. Then if they know what people go through, why are they celebrating political achievements at this time?
I've told you, I've said, and I'll keep on repeating it. All that they have done is politics.
All right,
they have never been.
Let me come to you.
There's
this coalition coming on board because politics everywhere now. Unfortunately, El-Rufai. There's confirmation El-Rufai, Atiku, Peter Obi, Amaechi, Imoke, a lot of them coming under one umbrella for a coalition. Do you think they are going to be able to put up a fight? When I mean a fight, at least let there be election. Because PDP is almost collapsing into APC as it is. Even the remaining fragment still have somebody like Wike who said he cannot contest against Asiwaju. Okay, so essentially we are not seeing anything too strong coming in from PDP. Do you see these people being able to put up a good structure that can stand election against Asiwaju in 2027?
Let me tell you something. The reason why the party power, the government of today, has derailed from their primary assignment of governance and veered into politics is because of this coalition. Whether you like it or whether you call Atiku a spare force or not, Atiku is still a force. Amaechi is a money bag from the south side, from Rivers State. Forget that Wike is making all the noise in Port Harcourt today. You cannot wish Amaechi away from the Port Harcourt politics. If these men come together to say that, look, we are going to form a coalition to give this government a fight, and the government knows that there will be a fight. That is why you see that instead of them concentrating on governance, which is supposed to even pay them more, so that if they perform, all this coalition will be nonsense.
Yes.
But they've been distracted, and they because of fear, they are scared to their boomerang that these people are gathering together, because this is what they just mentioned. There are order beneath. So the coalition is going to be a force. Whether, like he said, whether they are pretending not to take the people for granted. They are not taking these men for granted. I can assure you of that. If they are taking them for granted, they wouldn't have been, oh, PDP is dead, you don't have people who are in a ship that is sinking, you can't deprive somebody to salvage himself. They wouldn't have been saying that.
They were actually quoting freedom of movement.
Yes, because why do you think all the governors in the South and PDP are being coerced to move to APC? They felt, and that's why Wabara replied that look, it is the people who will decide who will be president in 2027, not the governors. The governors will be fighting for their own head then, and they can retain their seats.
That's right.
So the coalition is something you must. They are taking it serious. Not even me and you. Not even society. The people in office, they are taking the coalition serious because they know the coalition is what will give them a sleepless. It's already giving a sleepless night. That is why all this buhaha in politics.
All right, Kingsley. Yeah, I was to ask. Amaechi was made the. A lot of committees are coming up on this coalition arrangement. Amaechi was made the chairman or the head of the committee for registration of a new mega party, if it's going to be possible. And they made Imoke, former governor too, from Cross River State, a South State, the chairman of reintegration of this coalition into a particular political party. Some names were flashing off. There's names like SDP, ADC, and too many other names. Actually, the names are still floating as it is, with those two being the most prominent as it is. As a backup, their wish is to register a fresh mega party. Do you think they are going to pull through INEC hurdles of registering a fresh mega party? But I've not checked the Electoral, the 2022 guidelines to check if they even have the time also. But do you think politically, let's assume they have the time to meet the requirements and all that, do you think politically they'll be able to go through INEC?
That's for the registration?
For the registration, yeah.
Well, that's why they're having other options.
Yeah, certainly.
They're having option of ADC, they're having option of SDP. Do you understand? So
even any other
party that can come up. So these are options for them to look into. I'm sure they know what they want to do at this particular time, because these are political juggernauts. They know what is right, what is to be done, and all that stuff. And they also are aware of the game plan of the ruling party. They've been playing one game, infiltrating every political party.
Who is infiltrating every political party?
The political power, the party in power.
Oh, yeah, infiltrating any other party.
Any other.
Okay, once they hear coalition is going here.
Exactly, they've infiltrated every other party. And one of the way they do it is through tribal, ways,
tribal lines,
and all that. Me having feelings for you because you're an Igbo person, I'm my tribe and all that. I can't betray you and all that. So I think they know what they're doing, and I also think I'm actually beginning to liking the people that are in this coalition because they are also some of them have done it before.
And we have to preserve democracy.
So exactly, we have to
at least let there be election.
There should be election. Somebody like Amaechi has done it before, but I can tell you,
he was at the forefront of the coalition that brought in Buhari.
He was the main guy. Yeah. That's why you see Buhari did not, for Buhari's 2 tenures, he was the person that chaired the...
And he did very well in the primaries that brought Asiwaju. He was the second.
Yes, he was the second. They didn't even know he was going to get there like that. So he has some...
Because a lot of people from the north voted him, they like him.
Yes, he has some things off his sleeves. They understand. Somebody like the vice president would have thought it would be the second Oshibajo didn't come close. So they have these things planned out. But you see, they should not move like the ruling party is moving. You see, sometimes I used to say that, time is going, there's a great number, the time is very big. I'm telling you, in 6 months to election, a lot of things are going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because the way the opposition is going, or the ruling party is going, they do as if they have gotten everybody. Do you understand? When you do as if you have gotten everybody, if you've gotten members of the Senate, how many are they? 90 something.
And as a lot of people are going to lose in APC primaries that will be very angry with them.
I've told you, I say it's a time bomb that is coming. I'm telling you, look, ambition is ambition. People have ambition.
They are not going to pocket it for anything.
Before Eno came back to, or is going to
APC. Somebody must have been having ambition to contest as a governor in APC.
Somebody worry can't just get a ticket. Most of people right now.
One girl won't just relax.
They won't just
Even
relax.
new entrants are not just going to relax.
Exactly. So why do you think that they will just go and sit down? No. There's going to be an explosion, and it's going to be on the side of Nigerians. Trust me.
So at the end of the day, if what APC is celebrating now, which I think is not really in their best interest, now it's like you are muzzling all other elites into APC, all other elites from PDP, even from some people that won election under Labour Party have jumped ship to APC.
Even PDP yesterday.
Yes.
Labour Party.
People are jumping into APC.
Yes.
So by the time you select all the elites, you are left with elite versus Nigeria, such that any other candidate that the coalition brings becomes appealing to Nigerians. Do you think this coalition is going to be a sincere option to Nigerians against what we are facing today?
You see,
because Nigerians want alternative, not people gathering again to still come and give them the same thing they are facing now. We'll rather continue with our suffering.
You see, the coalition that is coming up is the dream of every Nigerian. They may not say it because people are tired. People are hungry. People cannot do things they ordinarily will do for themselves. Okay? Now, it looks as if the ruling party has coerced everybody, has won everybody. You go to Delta State, the entire state defected to APC. You go to Akwa Ibom State, the entire state moving into APC. And you go to Kebbi State, the 3 senators moving to APC. It looks as if we don't have a choice. The people have been caged. No, they must, whether they like it or not, they must bear the pains. But here comes the coalition, saying that, look, there's hope. I think the Nigerian will not think twice if the coalition come into future, that there is a true coalition in 2027 to vote for the coalition or to go with the coalition, because that's the only alternative they have, because Nigerians are looking for alternative. So if the coalition is able to do their homework properly and they come up with a proper, party, I think they will give, the present government a good fight. They'll give them a fight for their money.
Okay, let me come to you, Kingsley. Without preempting the coalition, and Obi has told us he's going to be part of the coalition. Atiku is already part of the coalition. Amaechi is part of the coalition. I don't know clearly whether Fayemi is there at the moment or not. They have mentioned Arebeshola, Ralph at some point, Now, Imoke is there, And among these ones, Amaechi had contested to be president, at least primary, stop at the primaries. Obi was a big force in the last election. As a matter of fact, he thought he won the election. That's why he went to the court. And you have Atiku, a man who has been through, who has gone there 6 times. He has been contesting to be president in the last 33 years.
Guinness Book of
Records. Well, I have not checked whether he broke the record. But he's been there, and he's still at the front at this time. Graciously, this time is so special because he's in Nigeria with us. Unlike before, we don't see him until it's a few weeks to election. So thank God for Asiwaju's emergency. You can keep our Atiku in Nigeria. So that's what Bobby said. We've never had this good.
I think that's one of the
they have a lot of factors.
We never had it this good.
They have
to see our older Turaki to be around. So it's interesting. Now, who blinks among them? In retrospect, thinking of, for example, the zoning, thinking of the strength in the last election, thinking of the vulnerability of now. Who is it that might not be able to magnet financing? Because you are going to need money in this election. If you don't have money, you should be able to attract money.
Okay.
Who do you think we be among those known? New people might join them.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping any other. You could be joining them to a contest as the president of the campaign organization in your local government.
Interesting.
Okay. Let's take it from this angle first.
Yes.
Do you think it's a coincidence for Fayemi and Obi to have traveled together?
Two of them are staunch Catholics.
Well, there is.
Do you think it's a coincidence? There are other Catholics that were there that came from Nigeria. You think they just traveled together? They plan to. If they are Catholics, they just traveled together. I just sat down together. I saw the president together. I went to visit. Do you think it's coincidental? No, I don't think it's coincidental. That's the real truth. That's number one.
You know, Fayemi told us that politics is like comedy. It's like drama. You know,
And they're acting it, we're seeing it. Now, we've also seen that Aregbesola and Tinubu, that were like twins, have parted ways.
Yeah, he was even from Lagos.
No, not from Lagos.
No,
they didn't part from Lagos.
Yeah.
But they were so close.
Close, yeah.
So close. Now they parted with. And
they didn't part from Lagos.
We've already heard the tune of where Aregbesola is going. All right. Now, who do we see blink in the face of this coalition? Now we have Obi, who is one of the most prominent opposition face right now.
Right now, yeah.
Then also, let's take the statement of El-Rufai. Two El-Rufais, the son and the father. His son said, El-Rufai, Obi is coming.
Yeah.
Let's take that one first. Then he now also made another statement. He said, what they told us about him before
It's not true.
is not true.
Yeah, we've come to find out that he's a good person.
He's a good person. Then the senior El-Rufai, said, you must look at who will win. So you can't put who will win to say we want to grab power. With who?
How will you with who?
How will you grab the power? So you now have to take a man you know has organic followership.
So you not spend your money. You not spend money on few things.
You know who has organic followership. If you talk about Obi here now on the internet, they will insult you.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We have people with emotion like that. It's nature.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say, if we still talk about Amaechi, who will insult us? They say it's sorted very well. We talked about Lucky Bunede the other day. They say that was still alive. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, he magnets people.
Yeah.
Now, the magnet doesn't come from religion. It doesn't come from ethnicity. It comes from a new Nigerian. I can tell you for free. Now, nobody wants to know whether you are Igbo. Save us from this doldrum that we are. That's what we want.
All right. Coming to what he has said, we know that there is nobody that spent exactly what to be spent in the last election. I do know that individuals that spent money for Obi that Obi wasn't aware of. Yes, too many people agree.
That's the real money.
There's nobody that spent that money that could get the vote Obi got. In short, if you go by money people spent, the one Okowa and Atiku spent to have that vote, you are going to say that Obi is probably the most vibrant person in this coalition. There's no doubt about that. Because one, you're going to spend little to get plenty. So you are going to make inroads into all those states. All the states to be won in the last election. He's likely to win them today with higher margin. Maybe Lagos might prove different. Maybe.
Because of
I don't think so.
Maybe.
I don't even think
but
so.
all the states he won before, he will win them today with higher margin.
Now, in a day, we
if
win
you are to
100%.
be in this coalition,
Yes.
you are to be there to advise them. And will you, if registering a new political party is possible, would you advise towards a new political party or running with SDP with the legacy of Abiola and was also a very reasonable good network, or ADC, a largely unknown party and we don't know what it owes, or you just think Obi should find a way of correcting labor and magnetize people?
If I were to advise, before I speak of the advice, we're talking about the coalition.
Yeah.
the coalition is made up of, you rightly said, of people from different backgrounds.
Yes.
And people are coming to the coalition with different contributions. What are they contributing to the coalition? Do you know that the coalition is gaining momentum today because one, Obi name is mentioned.
Yeah.
Two, El-Rufai name is mentioned. So these people are coming into the coalition with a name and with organic follower. Whether you like it or not, El-Rufai had organic follower in the north.
Certainly.
Obi has organic follower across the nation.
Yes.
So these people are coming there. These other people,
Even in the south,
Yes.
El-Rufai has some reasonable
Yes.
followers in the south, particularly those that have touch with Abuja.
Exactly.
You know, he was one of the best, I think probably the best FCT minister we've ever had.
So these other people are coming in with other things that will make the coalition what it is. If I'm to advise advise Obi or the coalition, I think at this point in time, it's not a time of forming a new political party. One, they should also remember that this democracy we are enjoying is the price paid by Moshood
Abiola, a legacy.
Legacy. So for you to give Abiola that prominence and that thing that it deserves, it is proper for the coalition to settle in SDP so that Abiola thing can resonate and the dream of Abiola for Nigeria of good governance can
Be kept alive.
The spirit of Abiola will now help the coalition in SDP to drive the process that will take them to the
Okay, you took this very, 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 very well, more than I expected. So let me just put this to you as a flashpoint. SDP had one, what do I call it, Mr. Debayo, that flew their flag the last time, obviously performed very poorly. But he's beginning to speak on televisions. I mean, I'm beginning to wonder, the ticket he had, it was for 2023 election or lifetime ticket of SDP?
You know, Adebayo is an empty vessel that is sounding so loud and there's nothing to produce. You see, you said it all. 2023 has come and gone. We have so many presidential candidates in all the 19 political parties.
Exactly.
Where are they today? Adebayo is just like every other card-carrying member of SDP, who is just SDP member. He's not in the SDP National Working Committee.
He's not a party official.
Neither is he in the National Executive Council.
It's not a party
The
official.
fact that he flew the flag of SDP in the last election,
and perform woefully.
does not give him the credence to speak on behalf of SDP. He's just playing a tribal politics inside SDP, and it's not. Everybody knows that what he is doing in the country, not even within the SDP.
Yes.
They know that he's playing a particular card.
Yeah.
People, when you read his statement, you don't know that this man is playing a particular card. You understand? So he knows if he's interested in running for presidential, the presidential ticket of SDP, it is free. He will stand against every other contestant that will, if he wins the ticket, because it's not by claiming that you are, because you were candidate 2023 that you. No, you are very, very free. It's your right. It's your legal right. If you think you are interested, mobilize your support base and buy, the nomination ticket and go for the primaries. It's not enough for you to start dragging other persons like the way he's doing today, speaking.
And the National Executive Council have the right to determine whether they will go to primaries or not.
Exactly.
They could determine to save their money for not primaries.
Save the money of their potential candidates from
it's
wasting
the right of the party.
So even if he so choose, it is the
you
party.
can go to another party and still run.
The party will see screen.
Yes.
If they feel that you didn't do
because most parties this time decided instead of wasting money in primaries and creating animosity.
Is that what APC is doing?
Yes.
The governors and all the people have said
just pick one person
anonymously.
And it's legal. It's fully legal, but it's the National Executive Council that determines.
Simple.
It's legal.
That's what APC has done. And they say our ticket is for president ticket for today.
Yes.
So what's up from SDP for
if you are in APC now, you want to contest, go to another party.
Exactly.
You can come with
a consensus candidate.
Exactly.
Yes, that's all.
If SDP say that their candidate is this, who is Adebayo? It's just a mere card carrying member, so you shouldn't be taken serious. I think it's just a sounding guy. He's just making noise. And
what do you call him?
A sounding god. you know that god will be. Yeah. That's what it is.
Okay, let's move a little bit into what might prevent the options Nigerians have in this coalition from coming to fruition. Apart from voting, I've always said it's two parts: counting of your vote, and unfortunately, people can only vote. They don't count their votes by themselves. INEC has to do that. What this coalition, do you think they have committee already on either a new party, a committee on either an old party, which SDP appears to look very, very good, no doubt about that. Now, do you think they should have committee on INEC reform before election? One of their duties could be to decide on those reforms. I've always recommended minimum of one, but two will be good. Minimum of one. That one is IREF, electronic transmission. As you are making a debit, if I send you message now, then you get it. If I transfer money to you, it displays. Okay, so immediately. That's number one. Number two, if they can get the second one, maybe conducting all the elections in one day like it's done all over the world, fine. But like we discussed in the morning, INEC themselves have about 500 and something recommendations that came out of their committee. I don't know all those recommendations, maybe the procedures of whatever. But what Nigerians need are this. Do you think this coalition should form a committee so that Nigerians will be able to elect their leaders and say, this is our leader?
I think they can get, sure. I think there are old dogs in the game. I think the old dogs can easily go for hunting. The new dogs that most of the time you take for hunting, they have to learn from the old ones. The old ones take the lead so that they will show the new dogs how to catch. Now the old dogs that are there, Amaechi is there, Liel is there, Atiku is there, El-Rufai is there. We don't know if I'm is there already. We don't know if Obi is there. So there are old dogs that will know. For example, Amaechi told us that he told them, let's march. If they shoot us during the time of Jonathan. Let's march to INEC. So I'm sure they can still take those same routes. For example, you asked the committee on beavers or IREFs. Now, the committee of IREFs to say transmit electronically.
Immediately. We must put immediately in that provision. They have to amend that Electoral Act.
I'm sure they have to do that.
And also...
The Electoral Act already gives
they know, but the court went ahead, giving INEC the prerogative to determine how to do it.
So now,
have to short.
So now let's look at it. Let it be sacrosanct.
Yes, let it be sacrosanct.
That INEC must do this. That's number one. Number two, they may not get the other one because the other one has to go through legislation.
Because
do you understand? That doesn't mean they should not try. Do you understand? They can try.
After this 2022 Electoral Act, Buhari didn't just give it to us like that.
No.
We also, CSO's fault.
Look, let me tell you what the CSO...
Okay, let me hear from Philip.
See, when we go the route of the Electoral Act, amending or not amending, it's not within their purview. You see, we have a National Assembly that you cannot speak
that have made up their mind.
No matter what you do, is what is in their mind that they will do. What I think they should do is to put on their own strategy on how to ensure.
Yeah, they can. Let me tell you.
Yes, because if you are talking about the Electoral Act, how are you going to push it through?
Now, let me tell you, they can also make a compelling demand on INEC. Before last election.
That is the strategy I'm talking about.
Okay, all right.
So when they put up the strategy in place, it is for them to know how to mount pressure on INEC to ensure that they do the right, because the law has already covered. Like you said, forget what the Supreme Court interpreted. The law is very clear.
It's there.
And INEC has
rights.
And there are statements of INEC on
too many press releases.
Exactly. So what they need to do is to ensure, to compel INEC to do the right thing. Not minding who is paying their salary. So if there's enough pressure, like he said, if at that time of Jonathan, you see the pressure on Jega and all of that, if the pressure is right,
they will
the government, INEC will do the right thing. I think that's the committee they should put in place. A committee that will ensure that INEC is perpetually under pressure to do the right thing.
And you know, some of these, I'm not saying INEC is a bully, some of this bully kind of leadership, they cave when you challenge them because they are not used to being challenged.
Look, let me tell you one of the things they should do. You know, that Electoral Act.
We don't have time. Just
that Electoral Act were strongly being supported and fostered by the CSOs. The CSOs put a lot of pressure.
It was a lot of work.
And one of my friends now that is late, we used to call him Izario. His name is Ario, but in school we call him Aristotle.
Yeah.
He could be credited in one of the and
he was at the forefront. Even they tried to.
They were best of friends. You know, they were best of friends. So he did. Of course, I know there were a lot of sponsorship that came from so many places. Now the CSOs. To an extent, they've gone dormant.
We need this committee. That's the essence of this committee.
To revitalize exactly
people,
so that they
whatever
can.
that needs to be reactivated.
That means
galvanize what needs to be galvanized so that the results.
So that that kind of
the work right now needs to start now.
Now that's why I said they should just start it right now.
That's the committee.
That's the committee we're talking about.
PDP.
So as you are registering a party, talking about old party, you should be talking about counting your votes. Thank you guys for being around. I think this is the much we can take for today. And thank you, viewers, for hanging around. Still matters are rising. Until next time, have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy your weekend, according to our president.
Thank you.